If you want to be able to donate, you can find my Cash App, PayPal, Amazon wishlist, and P.O. box in the description box below. Truly appreciate each and every one of you who does anything like that. And also, anyone who likes, shares, comments, subscribes, all that stuff really helps me out, and I truly appreciate each and every one of you. Definitely appreciate what you have to say. Those who have been here to support me from the beginning, especially, and generally, the majority of the people who watch my collective messages are. So, let's see what the message is today. Definitely, you have met a lot of people over the last couple years, people of all different walks of life, and you've really allowed your curiosity to lead you in dealing with a lot of these people as well, which is healthy and natural, which is a good thing. It's a good thing to be able to expand your horizons and not just instantly judge a book by its cover. So I feel like you've really been branching out and you've been seeing that there are good people in all walks of life. Also, as a healer, because a lot of you are, you may have experienced a lot of times in your life where people were there for what they needed and then they were gone. And then they were there for what they needed and then they were gone. That kind of thing. And the pain experienced when it comes to not being friends anymore and not having those friends around anymore is something that really does hurt a lot of times. Magic is definitely happening right now, and I feel like you are going to be able to make some real, true, caring connections and friendships at this time, more than just your animals. There could also be people that you have noticed that are very good with animals as well. You've noticed a lot about a lot of different people around you and what it is that they care about, what it is that they want, who they are as a person. And I really feel like it's time to trust and believe in that, even if there has been something that has happened that has created distance. You can always reach out anytime you want. I also feel like there is definitely a lot of magic happening right now on the front of things that you have known were coming for a while are going to be seen and revealed as well. Often overlooked, but totally golden. Your friendship has definitely been overlooked a lot in the past, but it's something that is very golden and something that is definitely a beautiful thing. Beauty Ghazi, today we are doing $10 question sessions. Every month at the beginning of the month during the first week, I do a free question session. It takes a lot of energy out of me and doesn't give back much to me, but I do that once a month for the people who cannot afford to be able to do that. So first week of September, I would be glad to answer your question, or if you want to do the $10 for a question, you can find my Cash App and PayPal in the description box below. And I definitely appreciate you for supporting my business in that way. You're definitely cruising straight towards the finish line right now. Overcoming a lot of the challenges that were in the way, no longer being so upset or hurt when things don't work out the way that you wanted them to work out. And really, I also feel like you might be showing other people that there's different ways to handle things than some of the harsher ways that they've handled things when their heart is hurt and broken. Because sometimes when our heart is hurt and broken, we definitely don't think before we act, and we end up doing things to hurt ourselves or hurt others because of the pain that we're in, which happens to every human being, so no judgment to anybody on that. But hi, Theodora. Today is not the free question session. Today is $10 a question session. So if you want to be able to support my business, you can send me $10 through Cash App or PayPal, and I will be glad to answer your question. Every month, the first week of the month, I do a free question session. You're welcome. You might want to stick around for the collective, though, because generally, a lot of times it ends up answering those questions anyway. You are so calm and serene. Your beauty is so deep. You're far from surface level of beauty and far from shallow as well. You are so flexible and adaptable. I don't think there's a challenge that you couldn't face. You are so optimistic and hopeful. You have faced treachery and hardship with such grace and integrity. You light up the world around you, and you truly inspire others. Your leadership is always through action. You teach others so much just by being you. Truly, madly, deeply, Savage Garden. I'll be your dream, I'll be your wish, I'll be your fantasy. I'll be your hope, I'll be your love, be everything that you need. You are so special to me, I am willing to go where you lead. Lead on, my dear. Thank you so much, Beauty. I appreciate that very much. And I really do hope that your business is a complete success. Commitment and perseverance go a long way towards that. I've been working on mine for a very long time, and it's just now starting to become a success. So it may take a little while, but you will definitely get there. Freedom is peace. Free your mind and free your soul. Unbind yourself, that's the goal. Rock the boat and fill the tide. Learning to enjoy the ride. No more thoughts to hold me back. There is nothing that I lack. Simple joy in everything. All of life makes me dance and sing. I am free to be myself. No more time to rest on a shelf. Damn straight. May all of us be blessed. So if anybody wants to be able to find that poem, you can find it on my other channel, D Storytime. There's a link for it in the description box below as well. So right now, you are working on freeing your mind, working on removing some of the overthinking, rewiring your thoughts a little bit, really turning things around for yourself on how you see you and who you are. Also, trusting yourself to lead and knowing that people will follow. Knowing that you are very special to a lot of people around you, even if your worries and fears sometimes tell you that you are not. Pay attention to your surroundings. You might not notice things that you missed, or you might notice things that you missed before. Don't be paranoid. Just don't allow yourself to be caught off guard either. Notice and appreciate the signs that you are given as well. I've definitely had many excuses over the last couple years to be paranoid, and there's been a few times where I've gone into a bit of paranoia. It's technically not paranoia if things are really happening, though, I would say, but it still takes away all your energy, drains you, and puts all of your energy, your time, your effort, your focus, everything on the crap going on instead of what's important to you and what your purpose is. So being able to surrender and hand those things over to the divine beings to be able to take care of with faith and trust that everything that is happening is meant to be happening is something that's going to help you to be able to lead in a very integrity and dignity filled way as well. There have been people who have broken into my trailer and left things in the grass so that I would know that they were in there. There was one night where I left leftover pizza in there and left for a little bit, and I came back and I was like, oh, hey, I'm kind of hungry. I'm going to eat the rest of that pizza. And just to put this out there, I don't usually throw up very much at all. It's not a common thing for me in any way. I didn't eat too much that day. I wasn't sick at all, wasn't sick the next day at all. But the moment I ate those 2 pieces of pizza, I threw up 10 times because my body was expunging whatever the hell was in it. So, there's definitely some horrible things that happen out there and awful things that people do, but that doesn't mean that you have to give it all of your time and attention either. Notice and pick up on the things going on around you, but also remember that praying, meditating, and keeping yourself in a more peaceful and calm state will help you to be able to react in the best ways possible for yourself and for the world around you when anything does happen. Guards are around you now. They are protecting you. Have faith and let go of control. What you need will come to you through prayers, faith, and letting go, knowing that you will be provided for. Basically what I just said. Sometimes want and need are 2 very different things. Make sure that you're grateful for receiving all that you need, even if it's not all that you want. Gratitude breeds abundance. So, taking the time out to be grateful for all the things that are in your life right now that you need You're welcome, Jasmine. Thank you so much for being here as well. I appreciate you and your efforts and your support. You're amazing. Thank you so much. So, sometimes when we go into situations, we really, really, really want everything to work out. And we have this big old plan and this big old dream of how it should be working out. And sometimes that's just not the way that it works out, because that's not the way that it's meant to work out. And what you needed from this situation was something very different than what you wanted from this situation. And so this situation brought you what you needed. And yeah, it may have been a messy, horrible, awful ordeal. But aren't you grateful that you got what you needed from that situation? Because that situation brought you a lot of lessons, a lot of experience, extra wisdom. It brought you a lot of good things too. There's been a lot of messy, awful, horrible experiences and ordeals in my life. There's been a lot of sexual abuse. And you know what? There was somebody I met this last year that I definitely wanted something very different in that situation than what ended up happening. But I did get what I needed from that situation. We both ended up helping each other heal quite a bit sexually because of, I didn't even realize that there was that many things still left that needed to be uncovered and healed. But I did realize recently that, wow, it's amazing what it looks like to be on the opposite side of that, because even just that little bit that was left really needed to be expunged. It needed to be healed. It needed to be pulled out, and it needed to be treated. And what I needed at that time was for that. I didn't necessarily need for that situation to work out, and especially considering what that situation was. But even though there was some awful things about that situation, there were some very good things about that situation. Oh, and by the way, for anybody who is going to end up showing up next weekend or next week, hi, Silver Priestess. Anybody that's going to be showing up next week, I am going to be back in my trailer starting Saturday. And so I'm hoping I don't have too many problems with the overheating of my phone, but I may be going back to having some problems with that again. So bear with me. I don't know. I may ask if it's okay if I just borrow someone's house for a little bit every Thursday for that. Focus on the things around you now and here. See the beauty in it all. Show gratitude and clear out anything that is unneeded. Blessings will soon be coming in. You just may not see the results of your hard work yet. Your patience will pay off. You may be feeling like all eyes are on you. That's okay. That you may not have done the right thing. Who's to say what the right thing is anyway? We're all doing the best that we can in the moment. Have compassion for yourself. Have compassion for others. Your intentions were pure, and your patience will pay off with a generous offer. You may have been tricked and left to walk away in shame, but there is someone who sees the real value. Open your heart to see or to receive. So, it's kind of like with the trolls I've been dealing with on here for the last week, yet again. And since their old tactics aren't working, they're trying to do new tactics. And one of those new tactics happens to be attacking the work that I create and making sure that they are still complimenting me so that it looks like, I'm the one that's crazy, but that's okay. I've dealt with enough of that in my life to see exactly what it is. I know a backhanded compliment when I see one. There was a jealous person at the bar one night that just kept doing that until, I was like, why do you feel that way? I don't understand why you're feeling that way anyway. You have so many fucking amazing things about you. Why would you be worried about me? Holy shit, you're fucking beautiful. Not to mention your voice is fucking golden. To be able to have a voice like that, holy shit. And yet you're sitting here worried about me. You shouldn't be worried about me. But every situation you enter, you're not going to handle correctly the first time. A lot of times it takes time to learn, to grow, to really find the right way to respond to situations. One thing I do know is running away from those people isn't going to help anything. Blocking them immediately is not going to help anything. But showing how I do handle it and then blocking them if necessary, That is something that could handle or help things. Speaking your truth and expressing yourself and putting yourself out there, regardless of what anybody else thinks about it, that could help things. Oh, wait, that's called being authentic. And I never said that I was a pure being of light that who is better than everybody else and who thinks I'm so high above everybody. I'm not. I'm a fucking human being. Just like everybody else here, I'm a fucking human being. And I'm going to handle things the way that I handle things. And sometimes I'm going to agree with you and sometimes I'm going to disagree with you. And that's just the way it is. Exactly. Thank you, Calypso. And thank you, Jasmine. You know what? Exactly. And that's exactly what I told her. I just let her know that, hey, you know what? If my readings aren't resonating with you, apparently you're being drawn to things from something other than your intuition. So check into your intuition and make sure that it's on point so that you can be drawn to things that do resonate with you because I'm not changing the way that I do my channel. This is my channel. And you know what? I'm doing it the way I do it because a lot of other people resonate with it and the people that I want on here resonate with it. I'm not here for a fucking popularity contest. I don't give a flying fuck about popularity contests and never have. In fact, it's been my biggest obstacle has been being seen. I don't fucking like being seen. But that's okay because you know what? Yeah, there's a lot of bad that comes your way when you're seen, but there is so much fucking good too. When you're an invisible person in the corner, predators know what prey looks like too. And it's a whole hell of a lot easier to attack somebody that isn't saying anything than it is to attack somebody who's standing their ground and defending themselves. Exactly. What's drawing you to it if it's not resonating with you because apparently your intuition is just not working right. So you need to take some time to get in touch with yourself. Either that or you're having such a hard time looking in the mirror that you can't even see that what is in front of you is a message that was brought to you that you needed to hear. And I've been there. I'm not saying I haven't been there either because you know what? I have got on readers channels. It's been about 5 or 6 years now, but I have got on readers channels and I have said some fucked up shit. I have done that. So no, I am not better than anybody else. But I'm also not going to run away from it or shut off my comments because there's a lot of people on here who do talk to me and want to talk to me and want to heal and want to learn and want to grow and things like that. So in order to be there for them, I have to deal with the other side of it too. Damn straight. You know what's funny? I actually realized recently somebody was talking to me about I can always tell when I see an ex military person because look at the way they stand. And you know, there's a few of them that aren't ex military that do the same thing. A lot of them are like prisoners, things like that. And I was like, a couple days later, I'm like, I do that when I walk a lot of times, don't I? That high shoulders, chest out kind of look like, fuck with me. I dare you. And that's just because you know what? I'm not going to walk with my head down anymore. I'm not going to. No, no. That's not the way that we were meant to be anyway. Stop lying to yourselves. Stop feeling like you're an imposter. Stop feeling like you have something to hide and you don't need anybody to see who you are. You already have so many fruits coming in from the labor that you have put in. Damn straight. And you know what? What is wrong with that? I still notice the invisible people when I walk in a room, and I still make sure to include them and try to get them doing the same thing because they don't need to be in that space either. I don't want to take up all the space, but you know what? I definitely am going to take up space. I spent too damn much of my life not taking up any space because everybody else didn't think that I should and didn't feel like I deserved it and didn't want me to, and blah, 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 blah. You get space. Why the fuck shouldn't I get space? Damn straight. So you've been working very hard. You've been putting in a lot of persistent effort, dedication, time, energy, commitment, faith, trust. And you are already starting to see so many of the fruits of your labor that you have been putting in. And there is so much more to come your way. And a lot of it is really going to be being able to express yourself even more, being able to shed the last remnants of those masks that are covering up the beauty that is inside of you, the beauty that so many people around you would support, cherish, and really find to be so inspiring. You definitely have a lot of support on your side. There's a lot of people around you who see what you're doing and they love it. They love the fact that you're becoming more happy and that you are guiding others towards becoming more happy themselves. You definitely have people that are behind you that support you 110% in doing the things that you're doing and making the changes that you're making. And you are definitely going to leave behind a very strong legacy. You don't have to write a book to do that. You don't have to be a big time artist or singer or actor or actress. You don't have to be world renowned to leave behind something that is fucking amazing and changes the lives of everybody you know. Think about how many starving artists are praised today and their work still changes lives. The fucking legacy you are going to leave behind is something that is going to be so big and so amazing and so beautiful, regardless of whether or not you feel like it is in this lifetime, whether or not you even see the results of it in this lifetime. But I really do feel like a lot of you are going to be seeing enough results to make you feel very satisfied and at peace with the work that you've done. The way that you have been able to be so poised, filled with dignity, filled with integrity, the way you've been able to patiently respond and react to the situations going on around you, the way that you have been able to lead by example, something that is just jaw-dropping and awe-inspiring. And you are really changing a lot of lives around you. You're so intelligent, and a lot of this intelligence that you have, the wisdom that you have inside of you, is wisdom that you have picked up from the journey through life. All those things that you're ashamed of, all those things that you want to hide, all those things that you want to cover up, that's where you gained what you have from. And that's what made you who you are today. So there is no shame in showing those sides of yourself that are a part of you. I am definitely somebody who is all about love and light. And at the same time, I came from the fucking ghetto. That is my roots. And standing there telling somebody that they can go fuck themselves if they think that they're going to fuck with me or what I have going on in my life or judge me in my life or anything else, that is a part of who I am too. And for a long time, that part was beaten down into submission because, you know, I grew up around a lot of people that were like that too. But it's not anymore because that part deserves to be out of the bag as much as anything else does within me. When you start denying those aspects of yourself and hiding those aspects of yourself, whether you like it or not, they come out in bad ways. When you accept them, acknowledge them, and channel them, they come out in much healthier ways. And I feel like that's a lot of what you've been working on, is being able to bring out and express those parts of yourself that you have been ashamed of for so long, that you've been hiding away for so long. But now that you are realizing are a part of you that is just as beautiful as the rest of you. Every human is a human, and every human has both light and shadow within them. Light work is important, but so is shadow work. People can think all they like that shadow work is not important, but shadow work is just as important as light work. Just like having shadows in this world and having dark things and dark times is just as important as having the good things and the good times. We wouldn't even have the good things and the good times without it, because you can't have one without the other. You can't have all the light, love, purity, and goodness of the good people out there without the darkness, shadow, hurt, and pain, because most of the extremely good people out there that are really just amazing beings of light, love, and beauty have came from that pain, that trauma, that hurt, that despair, that abuse. And if it wasn't for that, they wouldn't be here. So between messages, if anybody wants to be able to donate or purchase a question, you can find my Cash App or PayPal or Amazon wish list in the description box below. And I truly appreciate each and every one of you that does that. Thank you so much for that. Or anybody who likes, shares, comments, subscribes. You guys are awesome. Thank you. I would not be here today without you. You are smarter than you think you are, more beautiful than you know. It's time to spread your wings and to fly. Leave behind any doubts. Know that you can do this. When one door closes, another opens. Amidst the stars, you will rise. So you are definitely on your way up. You are definitely somebody who really can make a very strong difference in this world. The song that's coming to mind right now is, "You want to change the world? Well, we could. Change the world." I can't remember who sings it. Wolf something. It's on Sugar Shack Sessions music list. Sugar Shack Sessions is a great music list. They have so much. It's like bohemian, Rastafarian type of feel to it. If it wasn't for everything that you went through, exactly, this is what I was just saying, you would never have found the passion, motivation, and drive to create all that you have. You strove to prove yourself, and you did. And you know what? If people didn't turn away from you, you wouldn't have been able to prove yourself. If you weren't out on your own, alone, feeling like the whole world was a cold place and a cruel place, you wouldn't have fought as hard as you did. It's time to forgive and to release the past hurt and pain. We have all had pain, especially those of us who are super passionate, and it's okay. It does happen sometimes. When we see it, it's up to us to choose to heal, and that's our opportunity for growth. They have them too. Everyone could choose to heal at any time, choose to hope for it, choose to pray for it, choose to believe that the impact you make makes a difference, and choose to believe that your prayers make a difference. And use those prayers not to pray for revenge, but to pray for their healing. And if it makes you feel any better, in order to heal, they have to go through a lot of karmic lessons to get there, especially if they're really stubborn. I'm somewhat of a stubborn person myself. I glitter and am gold. Abundance is coming my way for everything I do and say. Stop the worry and the fear. Time to switch the gear. I am abundance. I know it's true. Opinions of others who have no clue. Their thoughts don't matter to me. They are so blind they can't even see. Time to leave their BS behind. Done with that bitter rind. So, regardless of what anybody else thinks, whether you glitter or not, you are gold. You're definitely not the fool's gold. You have a lot of beautiful things coming your way, and all it's going to take is you switching off that light bulb to rabbit hole land, where you're overthinking constantly, worrying constantly. That's that state of lack. And switching it into that state of gratitude of, I am fucking amazing, beautiful, and abundant, and everything that I need is going to be flowing in my way. I'm so grateful for all the things that are already in my life, and I know so much more is coming my way. I put a lot of good out into this world, and I deserve to receive good back, and I am open and receptive to that good coming my way, because I do deserve that. And sometimes we really get into this state of mind of thinking we don't deserve that. Even if it's just subconsciously down inside of there, it can really put a wrench in everything, because you're telling the universe, I don't deserve this. And instead, when you switch it to, I do deserve this, this is something that is meant for me, this is something that's real for me, this is something that really could make a difference, it will. Follow up. I was in a very different mood one day on my other channel, D's Storytime. I did Cherry Red and follow up. Follow up is, oh, I'm so sorry, dear. Did you not hear me clear? Too much hood is never good, but hood is what I need to succeed. A happy medium's always nice, hot as fire, cold as ice. You gotta be both to be my man. Have you not yet heard the plan? And that's very true, because I am both. And you know, everybody will be like, why are you going after these people? You deserve so much better. These people came from the same place I came from. And these people are going through some of the similar problems I've gone through, and who's to say they can't get over them anyway? And you know what? I am always going to choose to hope for it. If you guys wanted to be able to see Cherry Red or that poem again, you can find it on my other channel, StoryTime, which there's a link for in the description box below. Stop looking elsewhere, look within. What choices have you made that have led you here? No one else can be blamed for your choices. Take responsibility and grow some balls or some boobs and take action. No more victimhood mentality. So somebody this week is very confused with me on why I don't hate them. And I don't hate them. I fucking love them. And they're like, I don't understand it though. Why don't you hate me? I chose to be here as much as you have chosen to be here. And you know what? You did things in a very good fucking way. I mean, honestly, I've never had anybody do things in the way that you just did, especially after sitting here and filling me in on the fact that you self-sabotage and everything. And in order to get people to go away, you do cruel things to make sure that they leave you because you don't want to be to blame in whatever way. And you want to play victim because they walked out on you or whatever the fucking case may be. And instead, you honestly sat down and said, "Kay, I don't think I should have did this. And I think that right now I need to be alone and working on my own things, and there's other things that I need to be doing. And I'm so sorry about that. Please don't hate me. Please don't hate me. I still love you. I still want to be your friend. I just, please don't hate me. I don't hate you. I don't hate you, and you have nothing to fucking apologize for. Thank God you did what was best for you. I am so fucking proud of you for listening to that voice inside your head that told you, hey, there's other things that I need to be doing right now, and I need to be doing those things. And yes, it's scary to tell this person that, but that's what I need to do. Fuck, thank God you did that. Holy shit, I am so proud of you. How could I ever possibly hate your honesty? Because that was honesty. When it comes to people honestly telling you this is not working out for me and I got to do something else, remember that. And remember to be grateful that they did it in that way, because there are so many worse, more horrible, awful ways that they could do it, and I've had a lot of them done. Libra. New games. Possibly drug use. New games. So there may be some new games going on in the background that you're dealing with people that, you know what, I feel like there's been a lot of us collectively that have been experiencing a lot of attacks from people the last couple years. I can understand exactly where you're coming from, because about 8 years ago, I would have said exactly the same thing, Beauty. And I love people now. At the same time, there's a very fine line between love and hate. So there are times where I'm like, I just fucking hate people because this is bullshit. There's been a few times recently where I've said that about this town. I fucking hate this town. But you know what? I have chosen to stay in this town. So I choose to be happy in this town, which requires me not to hate this town. And there's a lot of things to love about this town. Even though there's a lot of things to hate about people, there's a lot of things to love about people too. Even the people that are the most cruel, you can find something to love about them and something that is good about them. Praying for their healing is what will bring out those good aspects of them. And that's the biggest advice I can give you on that, is to pray for their healing and let it go. Clown games. Yeah, definitely dealing with just a lot of attacks, a lot of cruelty. The people, the trolls right now. Yeah, definitely. My ex is actually a Libra. Just throwing that out there. Anyway, and also one of the people that commented said something about being a Libra. Definitely clown games going on. These hurt, sad, lonely, scared, in pain, miserable ass fucking people that want to hate on you for being happy while they're busy throwing their fucking lives away in drugs or alcohol or miserable ass fucking games they're playing with people, instead of building real connections and actually being allowing themselves to be vulnerable and open up and show who they truly are inside, to actually be able to express their tears in front of somebody. Remember, that's where those people are at. Those people are at a state of so much masks over the top of them because they feel like that's the only way that they could survive, is with all those masks over the top of them. And that is a miserable existence. Personally, even if you're feeling like your life is miserable right now while you're happy and doing your own thing and pulling yourself back from a lot of people, that's not nearly as miserable of a place as that other place is. Thought you knew it all. Still more left to learn. You passed the test. A+++. Shattered illusions. Definitely a lot of illusions have been shattered. There is definitely a transformation going on right now. When you're looking in the mirror, what you're seeing is changing. When others are looking in the mirror, what they are seeing is changing. The tests that you've been put through, the hurt, the hardship, the pain, the games that have been played, all that shit that's been going on, you have passed that test. And you are headed for a celebration. Something that is really going to light up your life and your world. And something that is really going to change your vision and how you see things. And once you get to that point of seeing things in that new way, you're really going to possibly start questioning some of the ways you used to see things. You might even be a little bit hard on yourself for some of the things you've done or some of the things that you have decided to believe. Whatever the case may be, don't be so hard on yourself. We're all human at the end of the day, and every one of us has been in a state, one state or another, of some sort of illusions. Being able to face them and pull yourself out of them is something to be proud of, not something to get hard on yourself for. The fish, golden egg, and the scorpion. So there are times when it is good to be adaptable, flexible, easygoing, to be able to go with the flow, to be able to just allow life to go where it's leading. And then there are other times where it is better to stand up, stand strong, fight the current. If it wasn't for salmon swimming upstream, they wouldn't be mating and there wouldn't be any new salmon. They have to swim their asses upstream against the fucking current, and they fight the entire way to get there just to be able to mate and have some babies. Sounds kind of like the dating pool in the human world, just a little bit. But there are times that call for that. And there are times that call for adaptability, flexibility, being able to just go with the flow. Different times and different circumstances call for different reactions and responses. And being able to discern when, where, and how to respond to those things is something that you've become much more effective at. You definitely have a lot of golden opportunities right in front of you. Make sure that you are not self-sabotaging these golden opportunities. Make sure you think before you speak. And that's not to say overthink. What it means is take a moment to take a couple deep breaths to find your peace within and then go, okay, how can I best say this? That this is not going to absolutely destroy this person, but at the same time, this does need to be said. Because if I don't say something, it's going to absolutely destroy me. So you can destroy them, you can destroy yourself, or you can take the happy medium, middle road, and express what you need to express without lacing it with so much poison. Knight of Swords, Nine of Swords, and Seven of Wands. Impulsively reacting and angrily expressing yourself is something that happens when for so long you have not had the boundaries in place that you needed. And when you first climb up out of that hole and you go, shit, I really need to start saying something to everybody. Everybody constantly treats me like a pile of shit. What is this crap anyway? Humans are fucking opportunists. They're opportunists. It doesn't matter who they are. They're going to take what you allow them to take. And if you don't tell them what you expect when it comes to respect, then they're not going to respect you. And respect means something different to every person anyway. So it is our responsibility to tell people, hey, this is not okay. And at the same time, when you first start doing it, you're going to be like, fuck you, motherfucker. The fuck did you just say to me? Because guess what? You're pissed off because you've been holding it in for so damn long that now you're going to take it out on this person standing in front of you, even if this person standing in front of you only made one little misstep, you know? And it's also that fear because you're afraid that whatever your reaction is going to destroy everything anyway. And then you end up destroying it because you're busy being afraid of it. And it's one of those things that you have to go through to find that happy medium. You go from this extreme to this extreme over here, and then you work your way back to this happy medium. And that's what happens a lot of times when it comes to bringing anything new into your life, as far as what your reactions are or how you behave, anything like that. A lot of times it will go to the opposite extreme before it finds a nice happy medium. And right now you're working on releasing your fears and letting go of them so that you can see the beautiful opportunities that all these situations are presenting to you. These people that are coming in and disrespecting you, these people that are coming in and saying messed up things to you, be grateful for them because they're giving you an opportunity to learn and perfect your skills in communication, to grow, and to be able to set your boundaries in a much healthier, effective manner, and to really be able to perfect that skill. Practice makes perfect, right? Well, these people are giving you a chance to practice your skills. So practice your skills and don't be so hard on yourself when it doesn't come out completely right. Because you haven't known how to do this forever. So learning something new can sometimes take a little bit of time. And sometimes it takes a lot of learning experiences. Karma is not necessarily meant to be a punishment. It's meant to be a learning experience so that you can understand things and make the changes necessary in your life. And if you don't, then it will get worse and worse and worse and worse until you do. And once the universe decides it wants you to change something, it's not going to give up. It's not just going to throw in the towel. It's going to stand there and it's going to make sure that you change things. You may actually be dealing with a lot of information coming in right now that is threatening to break all the hard work that you've done. Vigilante justice. Drowning. One up. Live life to the fullest and trust. 44. Current actions creating a stable foundation. Remember to celebrate all the small victories. Yes, you can. Send your payment and then send your question, and I will definitely put it out there. Thank you for letting me know that, Jasmine. I really appreciate everybody who's here listening and supporting in the ways that you do. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for that. So, there's a song. It's a new song. It's called Dead Men Don't Rape. If anybody is pro-choice, you will definitely enjoy that song. It's a pretty graphic song. And you know, I'm not anybody's judge. Although I will say that I do believe in the death penalty and we can send them to God and they can be judged there. At the same time, every monster has been created by a monster before them. Maybe some of you have been kind of waiting for some sort of court of public opinion to take hold and do something. I really feel like right now, it's more important that you just celebrate life and everything that you are going through work on your own foundation and everything that has been going on in your life, and know that you can have a new life even without justice playing out. Sometimes we don't even get to see the justice play out, but we have to create that closure ourselves for ourselves. I actually did get to see the justice play out with my uncle. My uncle sat there talking about how, oh, I would have killed that man if I would have known that he was molesting you, and blah 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 blah. And then he tried to do the same thing. And somehow in the middle of his living room floor while he was on drugs and alcohol, and he looked in my eyes and stopped immediately in what he was doing and left the room. We never discussed it again until about 8 years ago or so, where he apologized about it, and then he made sure to cut off all contact with me. And then 2 years ago, my family decided, right after I told my mom what had happened with him, that I was the one to go take care of him because I was the one who had the flexible schedule, because I decided not to have a 9 to 5 job. And so I went and took care of him for a little bit. He had his hip broke, and his nobody told me about the traumatic brain injury he had had a couple months before that, which made everything 10 times fucking worse. And it was the most miserable, awful experience of my life. But I got to see part of his karma. Within the next couple months, he died. And he died a very painful, miserable, awful death. Just a fucking disgusting, awful death. And you know what? When he died, they threw his ashes in the trash because there was nobody to pay to release them. And guess what? He spent his entire fucking life throwing everybody in the trash over money. When my mom told me that, I was like, I'm sorry, Mom, and I know you're sad and upset about it, but that sounds like karma to me. He spent his entire life throwing everybody, including you, away for for fucking money. He threw everybody in the trash for money. And then at the end of his life, he got thrown in the trash for money. I mean, sounds like what should have happened. Anyway, TT? Is it TT or Teat? I don't know how you're supposed to tell me that in the comments. But anyway, will you get the job as a correction officer? TT. Okay, cool. So, will you get this job? Well, you're definitely going to have a lot of stability financially, the ability to be able to care for yourself, the possibility of being able to care for others as well. Is it a job in management? Well, it's definitely a position of power either way. Night and day. You may be very different from the person that is in charge of this. And you know what? There is somebody that is like passive aggressively in the background. But I really don't feel like it's affecting you in any way. I feel like they are definitely looking at you as somebody who's very solid. I would have to say yes by the cards that are out here that you are definitely going to be getting this job. There's a lot of ego deaths going on right now for ourselves and for others. Those who have hurt you will face karma. Wash your hands of it. Forgive and release for you. When dealing with that, walking away is best. You know the signs. They do less damage and the scales will be balanced. Don't worry what they thought or what anyone else thought. What matters is what you think of you. Think highly of yourself. Take the high road. With a lesson learned to reap good karma. It's easy to start thinking, oh, you must have thought I was so stupid, I'll show you. But don't do this because this is ego. The best way to handle it is to heal, shine, and glow up. People can talk and think all they like. Your fruit will show for itself. So, I definitely feel like you're going to get a chance to get in there and show what you're made of and show who you are, and you are definitely going to be looking very good doing it. You may actually even end up getting a promotion at some point as well. And the biggest thing that's going to help you is being able to let go of anybody who has been against you and just allowing it to be the way it is. You know what? That's also, they can be biased all they like on that front. I was actually just watching a movie about that recently. I don't remember what it was called, but they didn't want to accept him into the police force because his entire family's background was gang related. And actually, he did end up being initiated in, and they put him as undercover. But it's definitely something that you can use to your advantage, because when it comes to dealing with inmates, you have experience with dealing with people who are on the opposite side of the law. As I told my ex when he was applying for the job that he was applying for at the boys' school he's working at, and he had a couple paraphernalia and contributing charges from back in the day, way back in the day when he was 21. He bought a girl alcohol and she was only 19, and then he had some paraphernalia charges for weed on his record as well. And like I told him, you know what? You know what that life is, and you've climbed your way out of it, and all these kids are on their way into that life. So you're showing them a different way to be and why it's important to pull yourself out of that. And you have first-hand experience in that. So that's something that can be used to your advantage when you go into that interview room. And I wrote his resume for him. And he went in there feeling confident about the fact that he had the background that he did, because it helped him in that position. He got the job, and he's been working there for about 6 or 7 years at this point. Don't worry too much about that. So, thank you, by the way, for your purchase. And if anybody else wants to be able to purchase a question or donate to the channel, you can find my Cash App, PayPal, and Amazon wish list all in the description box below. Thank you to all of you who do that, or anybody who likes, shares, comments, subscribes. You guys are fucking amazing. Thank you so much. You're very welcome, TT, and thank you for being here today. So let's see what other messages we have today. I'd stick around too. I feel like I needed to say that. So, know your strength, know your beauty, rise up over the past and stand in your power. No longer will you be the victim or play the victim. Instead, you will make the changes necessary to change your life. You have that power within you. No one else has it. It was there all along. You just never saw it before. Take this leap of faith. You will be caught and supported by the universe if you just believe that your prayers will be answered. Faith. It takes so much faith. But you know what's funny? It takes so little faith. Jesus once said faith the size of a mustard seed could move mountains. It's fucking amazing what faith the size of a mustard seed can do. And it don't matter what God you're believing in either. What matters is that you have that faith, that you have that belief, that your intentions are pure, that you're trying to do good things for yourself and the world around you, that you are feeling like you can do anything and change anything. Even bad people have enough faith to do that on a regular basis. You have blamed yourself for too long. It's time to see others' actions are not your fault. You can't make choices for anyone but yourself. If you don't like the choices that you make, change them. Don't self-blame. If you are dealing with others who hurt you with their choices, walk away. No more self-sabotaging. I actually walked away from somebody this last month. Told them that, look, you know what? This is not a friendship that we have here, and I just can't do this anymore. And then they tried to tell me all these bad things about myself, and I was like, you know what? Here's what happened between us. Laid it all out, and I was like, I'm not mad at you. I'm just tired of playing this game, and it's done. It's old. No, I'm good. And guess what? Immediately, some really fucking amazing things came into my life, and they played out very differently than they did the last time, because I was in a different mindset. I was in a mindset of anything you're doing is not my fault. And you don't get to just blame it on me so that you don't have to take accountability. It's your fucking shit, not my shit. You're going to choose what you want to do, and I'm going to choose what I want to do. And you know what? I'm not going to be upset about anything going on because I chose this. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Can't hold me back anymore. I don't care what they're going to say. Cold never bothered me anyway. Release that fear and doubt. Peace fills you inside and out. Let go of what you think is wrong. The answer was with you all along. Over the mountain or around, you've always been homebound. It's time to release all that fear before you waste another year. 10/22/21. So, the way that you're going to be bringing balance and harmony and peace into your life right now is to really look at all the choices and decisions you're making. And if you aren't liking what's going on in those situations, then choosing to remove yourself. Or if you're going to choose to stay in those situations, then you need to choose to be happy about it. And if you can't be happy in that situation, then you aren't really happy. Because if you're happy, then that is a deep core thing that can't be changed by the external circumstances. So it's time to really delve deeply inside of yourself and understand what is making you unhappy, and to put those changes into effect in your life to create the happiness, the peace, the stability, the abundance, whatever it is that you feel like you need in your life to live a better life. And to not blame it on outside sources or other people or anything of those types. Because we can sit around and go, oh, these people have been treating me awful and that's why everything bad is happening to me. But no, you letting those people get to you by treating you awful is why all these bad things are happening in your life. People are going to treat you how they're going to treat you, and you can't change that. You can't control anybody else's actions. You can't control how good or evil anybody is. You can't control what anybody's going to say to you, what anybody's going to think about you, how anybody is going to behave towards you. What you can do is change how it affects you. Change how you respond to it. Change how you deal with it. Change how you're living your life. But you can't force anybody else to change how they're living their life. And there's always going to be people living their life in that same manner that you hate. But you don't have to give it your time or your energy either. The grass isn't always greener. Water your own yard more. Stop giving to so many unimportant things. Start giving to you and yours. Things can be repaired here, but not if your focus is elsewhere. Inside yourself, you will find the answers. If you've been isolated, use this time wisely. Look within, take time for you and for your self-care. Introspection and time for it is a blessing. Don't waste this time on feeling alone, because you aren't. I've wasted time in my life feeling alone at certain points. That's also how I learned not to waste that time alone. And it's not always going to be that way. There's a lot of times where there's so much fucking going on in your life that you can't even breathe hardly. So when there's nothing going on in your life, that's when it's time to catch up on all those things that you couldn't do while there was so much going on in your life. That's how you show your gratitude for that break, that rest period, that time of things being easy and peaceful and joyful. And that way, when things get a little bit bumpy again and a little bit quick paced again and a lot going on and just so much crap all the time, you're able to handle it much better because you're feeling good, you're doing good, you took care of yourself, you took some time for you, and you did the things that were best for you while you had that downtime. And now that the time is up, you can handle it much better. Katy Perry, Dark Horse, and JJ Tucker. We're all mad here. There are many new opportunities in front of you. Low Down Drifters by Fire in Her Eyes, I think, is a good song as well. If you're feeling like you're down, or like you're not as amazing or beautiful, or you're feeling like there's just been so many crappy things that have happened, you're still standing at the end of the day. I'm Still Standing by Elton John, good song too. But you have definitely been able to overcome so much, and it's time to start seeing that and being proud of yourself for it. There are many new opportunities in front of you. You have ended things that no longer serve your highest good, walked away from the illusions, worked hard to heal self defeating behaviors. Sorry, worked hard to heal self defeating behaviors. But you may have been having a hard time trusting or opening up again. It's time to bring your passions and emotions into balance, to open up to the gray area. Get out more and open up more. Allow your heart to guide you, but not to lead an impulse. And don't allow your mind to stop you. If you feel like striking up a conversation with somebody, whether you feel like it's going to be weird or not, do it anyway. And you know what? Striking up that conversation could be the best part of your day and someone else's day. Being able to be open and, allow in what's going to come in is very important. Being able to allow what's going to go out is very important too. And yes, it does hurt, and it is so painful sometimes to have to let go of some of the things that we love and that we care about. But it's just like when you have the most amazing pet in the world, which, by the way, this pet right here is in my lap right now, trying to get my attention. No pet, generally, unless you got like a turtle or a parrot, none of them are going to live as long as us. They just aren't. They're going to be around. We're going to love them. We're going to care for them. They're going to love us. They're going to care for us. We're going to be there for each other. That's going to be our best fucking friend. There's no way around it. That's our best friend. Best. My 3 animals are my best friends. I don't think anybody will ever be able to trump their position in my heart. And except for maybe my kids and some of the adopted ones. But when they die, as they will, that's going to leave a bit of a hole there. It's going to be very sad. It's going to be very painful. It's going to hurt a lot. At the end of the day, I would not give up the beautiful time that I had with my beautiful animals for anything in the world, and that includes stopping that pain. There are other animals, and no, they can't be replaced, but you can find new things to love. You can find new good experiences. You can find new ways to enjoy life again. You can pull yourself up out of the pain, the sadness, the hurt. And every time that you go through that pain, that sadness, and that hurt like that, you get stronger and stronger. That doesn't mean that you lose more and more of your heart, unless, of course, you decide to go that way, because you can. Natural by Imagine Dragons is coming to mind. You can choose to go that direction, or you can choose to go the direction of, I will never give up. No matter how many times my heart is hurt, I am going to leave it open, and I'm going to be who I am. Capricorns and their shadow side can be definitely very difficult to deal with. Definitely. Be honest. Time to reflect. Time to reflect, honestly, on everything that you've been through. To see things from a different view now. Sometimes in the moment, we don't see things as clearly as we can. But when we reflect on them later, we might see them in a different way. Everybody tells you all the time, oh, don't live in the past, don't live in the past, don't live in the past. Guess what? You're not living in the past to be able to visit the past. And actually being able to visit the past in that way gives you a one-up on a lot of people, because not everybody is healthy or healed enough to be able to visit their past. And not everybody can learn from their past. Not everybody can grow from their past. Not everybody chooses to take that path. But right now you're being asked to be honest with yourself and to really reflect on everything that has happened and all the changes that you have made in your life. Where you're at now and where you have come from and where you are headed. To congratulate yourself on a job well done for the progress you've made at this point, and to continue striving to make more. To never feel like you are above anyone. To never feel like you have nothing left to learn, because everyone at every time has something left to learn, and no one is any better than anyone else. At the core, we are all human. shark, and mouse. Fears of others being out for blood. Fears of being the prey, like in that song Natural by Imagine Dragons. Rather be the hunter than the prey. So throw away your heart and be cold. Or we can rise above that fear and we can stand and face what we are most afraid of. We can put our vulnerability out there. We can put our heart out there. We can show our true selves, and we can see that it's no more dangerous than it is when you're hiding it all away. Say Bitch. If nobody has heard the song Say Bitch by Snow the Product, that is a great song. And if you've been dealing with a lot of haters that are really upset at the progress you're making, that have really been trying to lash out at you because of everything that you're doing in your life and the good things that are going on for you, if you've had jealous people constantly trying to tear you down, things like that, you know what? Ask yourself, why are these people putting all this time, this energy, and this effort into doing that crap? Kind of like those who make 50 fake profiles. Why do they do that? Because they have nothing fucking going on in their own life. It has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them. So let's see what else is going to be coming out today. You may have dealt with very bullying siblings growing up. Of course, they learned it from somewhere. Noted. Phone call from a scam. You may have dealt with very bullying siblings growing up. Of course, they learned it from somewhere. Know that it wasn't your fault. You are just a beautiful swan in the wrong family. Kind of like the ugly duckling. Everybody made fun of the ugly duckling, thought it was the most weird looking duck on the planet. You don't fit in. You don't belong here. We don't want you here. You're disgusting and awful and horrible. And then come to find out this ugly duckling was a beautiful swan and it fit in just fine with its own family. Sometimes the families that we are born into are not the families that we stay in. But honestly, it was the right family. To make you the person that you are. So be grateful that you aren't blind to similar things in your life now. It's why you are 10 steps ahead. So there's a lot of people that would not have the knowledge, wisdom, or experience that you have in dealing with these types of behaviors and these types of situations. And if it wasn't for everything that you went through, you would not have that either. My siblings, my older sisters, God, they were so fucking jealous when I was little. And that happens a lot with the baby of the family. And I got to be the baby, the middle child, and the oldest child. So I got to experience it from each section because my mom had 5 kids over the span of like 30 years. But they used to tell me things like, a cow shit in my face and that's why I have freckles. Or I was found under a rock. Or I was adopted. Or I was a cocksucker. They told me when I was 7 years old that I was a dirty little cocksucker. I mean, yeah, there's some fun things there when it comes to your siblings. But does that make me that? No. And does that mean they're even the same people they were then? No. My older siblings, there was a lot of nasty things about them when they were teenagers, just fucking awful things about them. But a couple years ago, they were also part of the group of people, a very small group of people, who went into the poor area of our hometown where we grew up that had flooded because there was so much rain and the river overflowed and it flooded everyone's trailers and houses in that area. They were part of the group that went in there and gave people rides on boats out of there and helped them to get all their stuff out of there, what they could get out of there that wasn't ruined. Anyone can heal and anyone can become a good person at any time. Everyone has a good person inside of them and everyone has a bad person inside of them. And sometimes when we're extremely hurt, that bad person can become a terrible monster. I didn't know until I was 21 that both of my older sisters were molested when they were children as well by their stepmother. And also, she chased them down the street with a gun that wasn't loaded. That was their dad's excuse. I have a different dad than their dad. And that was the last time they went there. My mom's like, you know what? Keep your fucking child support and I'll just keep our kids. And he agreed to it because, you know, why would he want to pay child support? But anyway, I watched them as teenagers going through what I was getting ready to go through, which is why I handled it the way that I did. I handled it the way I did because I had already watched it happen. Not only to them, but also to other people I had come into contact with at an earlier age. And I didn't want to become that. I know your heart is broken right now. You've already suffered so much. Sorry I'm a part of it. You know how to heal. Please step into your power. I don't like seeing you so alone and so hurt. Do something fun without guilt. Go out. No more time alone. Technically, cuts and bruises can last a lifetime. It depends on how big that cut is. And when it comes to physical abuse from people, that shit lasts a lifetime too because it comes with the emotional and mental trauma. But I do get what you mean and I agree. And at the same time, it can also not last a lifetime. It's all in whether or not you choose it to. All in whether or not you choose to hold on to it and nurse it for a lifetime. Thank you, beautiful. Let me in. I'm here to take you out. You can't stop us. We'll just keep coming. It was all a dream. Why am I dreaming that others are trying to kill me? You might be dealing with threats in your daily life, trust issues, and toxic people that you don't feel safe around. Time to clean house and clear out anyone or anything that means you harm or makes you feel unsafe. Listen to and trust your intuition. When I had the dream that I had of somebody trying to kill me, it wasn't until about a month and a half later that I finally got rid of her, and she started sending me death threats around the time that I got rid of her and started driving past my house every day and sitting outside of it staring at me. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to have to do this, but if you don't leave me alone, I will go to the police and I will get a restraining order. Her daughter had already done that to her. And I was like, I really don't want to be put into that position, but I will do the same thing to you if you deserve it. So leave me the fuck alone, and this is the only warning you're That's the only warning you're getting. And she did. She left me alone. Actually, she fucking left town right after that, and she's back in town now. But if you're feeling a lot of fear in your daily life, a lot of anxiety in your daily life, if you're feeling like you can't trust the people that you're around, if you're feeling unsafe in your environment, you're the only one who can change those things. You're the only one who can do something about that. And you're the only one who can pull yourself up and out of that. Trust in your intuition and take the actions necessary to create a safer space in life for you so that you are not spending all of your time and energy on fear and anxiety. I am not someone that you can take advantage of. Others know better. No more will they try. Others treat me fairly and respectfully. People pay me for my knowledge, skills, and gifts, just like they deserve to be paid for theirs. I don't have to argue whether or not it's right or wrong to be asking for money for my services. They know what's right, and if they don't, I walk away. My intuition is on point, and I trust it with ease. I deserve to listen to my inner self. No more will I discard it because of the reactions of others. The truth is always revealed eventually. I see the truth through the lies at all times. No one ever pulls the wool over my eyes. I am knowledgeable and wise. I am a healer, and I make a difference in the lives of others and in this world. I am capable of standing tall, head held high. I never look down on myself or others, and I don't care when or if others do. People respect me. I am loved. I am cherished. I enjoy my life. I am happy to be here. I am no longer worried about or question what's coming. I am relaxed and I am at ease. So that is the stance that you get into when you decide you are no longer going to put up with anybody else's bullshit. You are no longer going to allow people to tell you what you can or can't say or how you are supposed to defend yourself or what you're supposed to be doing or what's right. And what's coming to mind right at this moment is snitches get stitches. Snitches get stitches, huh? Eat a fucking dick, asshole. Because you know what? I am glad there's more people willing to do what's right these days instead of cowering away because of bullies that are going to threaten their life when they decide to stand up against something that's wrong. My fucking daughter recently said something about snitches get stitches, but she's living in a family of bullies, so no wonder. That outlook pissed me off a little bit because she didn't used to be that person. She used to be the person of, you know what, this is not right, and I'm going to say something about it. Unfinished projects. Distorted views. Being able to see things clearly. Being able to take action with passion, vitality, motivation, ambition, drive, being able to express yourself, being able to really be in touch with your heart and express what's going on inside of it is definitely something that the collective is working on right now as well. It really is very hard sometimes to express what's going on inside of your heart, especially when you are so afraid that you are going to be hurt because of it. But that hurt's only going to last for a minimal amount of time. That regret of not expressing it could last your entire life, and you may actually end up spending forever thinking about it if you never said what you needed to say. So you might as well live like you're going to die tomorrow and say what needs to be said. Because that's what's going to bring you the best outcome in any situation. And if those situations fall away because of your honesty, then you didn't need those situations in your life anyway, and they weren't meant to stay there. Now you're living authentically because you have chosen not to be in a state of inauthenticity. Weed is a medicine. It was used by our ancestors for a closer connection and a thinner veil. It was taken away and demonized in favor of pharmaceutical products. Kind of like when they did the early witch hunts, all the healers were killed, some by their own kind. All in favor of doctors who decided to bleed people out when they were sick and take away even more of their strength while they're sick and then wonder why they're dying, instead of using herbs and plants and nature and healing and prayer and meditation and all the good things that can really heal far more than you think they can. And yes, doctors sometimes are necessary and a good thing, but to turn to medicine every single day is ridiculous and so unneeded. And actually, a lot of times can make things far worse. Kind of like antidepressants that actually make people kill themselves. Really? I was on the verge of killing myself, but now I'm just going to kill myself because I feel okay doing it. Because there's no emotions left inside my body. Don't need that. Some medicine is helpful and needed at times. But if we started with natural solutions and worked our way up, then we wouldn't be using them unnecessarily and burying healing that needs done or denying it and our own power. We have that power inside of ourselves to be able to heal a lot of the things we have going on inside. A lot of it takes discipline, willpower. A lot of it takes being able to delve into some of the natural resources around us that we really could use to our benefit that we're told don't work, but they do work. Microdosing with shrooms has been proven to be the most effective way to treat CPTSD and depression in ex-soldiers. And guess what? They've decided that the mind of an abuse victim or abuse survivor throughout their life and all the things that have been put in it, it's basically like they've been in a war zone their whole life. They're basically in the same shoes as somebody who's been in the military for years and years and years. It's amazing the research that they've done on those things, but they're not going to tell anybody about it because then the pharmaceutical company loses money. And then that money switches hands, kind of like it did when they started legalizing weed all over this country. The money started switching hands, kind of like if they switched to something besides oil and gasoline, the money would switch hands. And that's why they don't want it to, and that's why they tell you everything else is bad. Exactly, I agree. Although I will say that there is a lot on Reiki in dealing with that as well. And cancer, they can't do anything about anyway. I mean, yes, if it's only a small amount, sure. But once you've hit stage 4 on anything, you're dead. And the only thing that they can do is prolong your life with more misery for a couple extra months. And my dad chose not to go that route, and he was apologizing up and down about it. But I was like, I knew you weren't going to go that route, and I can't blame you because I wouldn't want to go that route either. I might as well enjoy what little time I got left instead of trying to prolong it and making it worse and more miserable. A shift is coming. Everything is changing. Don't be scared of this shift. If you are feeling fear, examine those fears and the root cause. Uncover the why and heal the source. Face those fears head on to overcome them. You might feel like you are just done trying in a certain area. Get ready, because as soon as you feel this way, you will be blown away by how easily everything falls into place. And by the way, a few years ago, I went to doctor after doctor after doctor to try to help with the things I had going on, and they couldn't find anything. I found it. And I changed it. The natural healing that I've done is what changed my life and turned it around. The doctors couldn't do a damn thing. They couldn't even find anything wrong with me. It's kind of like with eczema. They don't know what causes it. They don't know how to heal it. They don't actually have anything that makes it better. And in fact, everything the doctors give you makes it 10 times worse. And you can find all that information from everybody online, and it's fucking true. Because my ex went through the same thing. Everything I was doing to help him was helping. Everything they were doing was making it 10 times worse. And his family was pushing him to go to doctor after doctor after doctor, and it wasn't doing a fucking thing. The things that we did to help him heal is what brought him away from it. And a lot of it was because other people who have gone through that and shared their stories that the doctors charged them money after money after money to not do a damn thing except make it worse. And so they found their own ways to heal themselves. It's amazing how much information can be found these days for anything that you're going through. So much more than in our parents' age, which is why we can't blame them for not being able to do anything about it or for teaching us what they did. Because they were taught what they were taught. Being an individual, freeing yourself from following what everyone else wants you to believe or see as truth, being able to see things from a higher perspective, and being able to just be you. Being able to be that leader that this world needs is something that is definitely within your ability to be able to do. But a lot of that requires you to accept the light side and the shadow side of everything. Medicine is one of those things. There are some good things about modern medicine, and there are some absolutely horrible, awful things about modern medicine because they're just trying to make money. There is some extremely good things about the way that natural healing is done. And then there's some not so good things about it. It's kind of like teething tablets for babies. They have belladonna in them. And if anybody knows what belladonna is, it's an extremely poisonous plant. But when microdosing like that, it helps with pain, immensely so. So does nightshade. Although you can use it to poison people, which is why they don't want anybody having it. But here's the thing. You can poison people with your pills you're getting from the pharmacy too. But we'll sell those to you. You can't grow your own medicine, but we'll sell those to you. We'll sell you opioids that you get addicted to. And then we'll take them away when you need them most so that you start getting street drugs. There's good and bad to everything. Also, being able to embrace both your masculine and your feminine energy is something that helps as well in good leadership. Your ability to be able to be passive, adaptable, flexible, and your ability to be action-oriented, strong, solid, unmovable. Both of those things combined together create a nice, happy medium and balance within yourself. Being able to be a woman who loves motorcycle rides or who loves chopping wood or hiking or camping or fishing, whatever else they decided is a man thing, pool, darts, whatever it is. Or being a man who loves cooking or loves children or loves being romantic, things like that, being a poet. All those things that they've decided are only woman things. Being able to do those things that you love doing, regardless of what labels people have put on it, is something that's very important for being the best leader that you can be and for showing others how to do the same. My ex caused me to feel as if I was if I was nothing. I Am Not Nothing by Beth Crowley. I think it's Beth Crowley. Good song. As if I was alone and no one would care or help. Gaslighting and manipulation was used against me to distort my vision of who I am. But who allowed that vision to be distorted? Who decided to believe that message that was coming in? When you take the power back into your own hands, you don't just believe things at face value. You look deeper than that. You research them. For yourself and come to your own conclusions. My life. Take a day to walk in my shoes. At the end, you'll get to choose. My life sparkles and it shines, but inside it all unwinds. Hollywood seeps into home. Everyone is plastic and foam. Wanting a piece of what they can't have got them lying to build a salve. Deceit is felt all too true. Real friends are far too few. If you wonder why I'm loyal to the core, I know this truth. It's always been at my door. I've known very few that I can trust. Sometimes letting go is a must. My trust gone at their betrayal. A coffin lid on the door was nailed. Too much death I've had to taste. With those that aren't so very close, I proceed with much more haste. Everyone wants to be foes. I'm not here to compete. I'm just trying to stand on my feet. Maybe you should choose yours too, and then your mind wouldn't be so blue. At the core of your anger is fear. Kick your courage into gear. So, spending your time afraid of the world, angry at the world, hating the people in it and the ways that they behave, holding on to things much too long because you're worried about being able to have anything new come in, letting go of things much too soon because you were afraid they were going to turn out just like everything else did. All of those things are things that we go through at times. People being upset with us is a normal part of life. Being upset with people is a normal part of life. Being able to heal some of those things, normal part of life. Not being able to heal some of those things, same thing. Really, all we can do is be honest and be ourselves. And try not to let the people who are hurting get to us too deeply and tear us down from where we have built ourselves up to be. We put in a lot of work, time, energy, and effort, and we don't need that shit. Let your emotions flow with love and kindness. Protect the wild and the green. Having a love and respect for all life is something that is so beautiful, and some people will really tear you down about that beauty. Some people will try to destroy you because of the way that you feel, because of the way that you are so amazing and such a light in this world. Continue to be that light regardless, because that light is needed. With love and kindness, anything is possible. But love walks a fine line with hate. You can't hate without that love. Love is not jealousy. Love is not possessiveness. Love is not control. Love is acceptance, understanding, peace, joy. Love is also truth, which sometimes can sound mean, but it's not mean to be honest. It's far less mean to be honest than it is to be fake. It's far less mean to express your truth to somebody than it is to allow them to believe a lie. Like when it comes to building a relationship with someone, and if you're just not feeling that relationship, are you going to tell them, hey, I'm not feeling this relationship, and I just feel like this isn't something that's resonating with me, this isn't something that I can do, I'm wanting something different than this. It's not you. I mean, sounds like the biggest cliche in the book, right? But here's the thing. When you're wanting to leave a situation, it isn't about the other person, it's about you. And some people feel like that's mean. Some people feel like it's mean to express your truth. But it's even meaner to sit in that situation that you don't want to be in and be lashing out at that person in cruel ways simply because you are not strong enough or courageous enough to voice your truth or to be seen as the bad guy. You're not the bad guy when you're ending something that is not working for either one of you. Because if it's not working for you, it's not working for them either. Even if they want to delude themselves into thinking that, even if they want to live in an illusion, somebody has to speak the truth before it grows to something worse. Taking time to cry is going to be very beneficial for you as well. Crying is the best cleansing that you could do in this world. Letting your emotions flow without feeling weak for it, without feeling like you are a baby or a pussy or you're just this little weakling. No, you're fucking amazingly strong for being able to let your tears flow and let your emotions be seen. Show your real emotions. Don't cover them up. Don't bury them for the world around you. The song Natural from Imagine Dragons is playing through my mind yet again. Do you want to be the hunter instead of the prey? What if you don't have to be either? How do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as prey when you put your heart out there on your sleeve? Do you see yourself as a hunter when you guard your heart? Or do you ignore the fact that you're now the hunter, the one that has hurt you so much that you felt like you had to put your heart in a box you have now become? Maybe it'll give you a little more forgiveness for those people who did the same thing to you, put their heart in a box and then became a monster. Monsters can create monsters, or we can choose not to allow the monsters to create monsters. And that doesn't mean we've never been one, because everybody has. And if you say you haven't, that's a lie right there. Everyone has a shadow side. And if you haven't experienced yours yet, then yours will be coming out at some point. And then you're going to be humbled by it. Open your mind to the possibilities around you. All you desire is in your power to create. You have all the skills and tools at your disposal. Trust in your abilities and open your mind and heart to receiving. Drop your guard a bit. You might be surprised with what you find. So, a lot of the collective right now may have been spending their time pulled away from the world and not really interacting with a lot of people, hiding themselves and feeling like it's safer. All you're doing is creating more pain in your life, more of a feeling of loneliness, more of a feeling of despair. What putting yourself back out there does for you, it allows you to see how strong you are, how capable you are. It also allows you to see that just because there are bad things in this world doesn't mean everything is bad. And now you've been hibernating for a while and it's time to put yourself back out there. It's time to take your emotions off the back burner and to show them for what they really are. Underneath your anger and your fear is a deep pain, a hurt, a sadness, a loss. Grieving happens in so many different ways. Once you cry and you get it out, that's when you finally release it and let it go once and for all. You finally felt the authentic emotion that you needed to feel for that situation that you've been avoiding for so long. That real pain. And in doing so, you will lead others to do the same as well. And you will find so many more opportunities coming your way. So many more opportunities coming your way. We have the Queen of Wands, the Hierophant, and the Ace of Pentacles. There are so many opportunities right in front of you, but you have to open the door to allow them in. If your door is closed and boarded up, nothing can get in. Nothing except for those things that are trying to break in. And you don't want those things. You are definitely an inspiring force to be reckoned with. Somebody who's very passionate, vibrant, fiery, motivated, ambitious, goal-driven. Somebody who's a teacher and a leader. Somebody who inspires so many people under you. And this step that you're taking right now, be brave, because this is a leap of faith. It's an extremely hard leap of faith to take. But that leap of faith that you're taking right now is going to bring in so much abundance and success to you, so many new opportunities, especially in the career front, or in your passion front, your hobbies front, or your spiritual leader type of front, anything of those sorts. You are passionate, vibrant, beautiful. You know what you want, and it's time to go after it. It is time to put your offer out there, or to accept whatever offer is coming your way that you feel like you should be accepting right now. To let fear take a back seat and to allow yourself to move forward. There is also definitely many people out there that you can also go to help you in this as well. And yeah, it does take a little bit of money sometimes, but you know what? It's money well spent. If you can afford to spend money on drugs or alcohol or extravagant food, if you can afford to spend money on all the things that are not doing so good for you or helping you in any way, then you can afford to spend money on things that are helping you as well. Things that are good for you and your soul. And vice versa, if you're dealing with customers, same thing for them. If they can afford all those things, then they can afford your services as well. Don't feel guilty or ashamed for letting them know that you are not free. There is a difference, a very big difference between a slut and a whore. A slut gives it all away for free. At least a whore knows what they're worth and is charging for it. That sounds really fucked up, but it's the same thing. And yet they're both doing the same thing. And what's really funny is that people put such a worse label on whore than slut. They're both sleeping with the same amount of people. One's just getting paid for it. Also, I have a very weird view on legalized prostitution, because there is a lot less rape in Nevada than there is in Idaho, and Idaho is severely against any form of prostitution, but there's a lot of it going on here behind the scenes. They're not clean, they're not checked regularly, it's not monitored, people are forced into it, where down there, people are doing what they want to be doing. They're living their life and they're making their money and they're not getting sick and they're not spreading sick. And you know what? There's probably far less rape. Wait, there is. There's actually far less molestation down there too. This state has a lot of it. A lot of it. Per capita, this tiny little city that I'm living in has more rape and pedophilia than Las Vegas does per capita. Isn't that fucking weird? And everybody thinks that's a disgusting pit of hell. And this is a beautiful, amazing church place. Underneath perfect, there is always a lot more decay. I've found that out a lot in my life. And you know what? They can try to look perfect all they like, but perfect here either. It's kind of like my father-in-law used to, oh, Mexicans are known for this and black people are known for this. He was so fucking racist. And you know what? One day I was like, you know what white men are known for? Middle-aged white males. And this isn't a stereotype. This is a statistical fact, and you can look up the research on it. Middle-aged white males are the most likely to rape or molest. Then again, that makes sense considering they were the ones holding slaves 150 years ago, raping and molesting children and women constantly. Wonder where that cycle comes from and why it needs to be broken. Then again, even looking at slavery, here's the thing. In Egypt, in ancient times, it was black people who had white slaves. And then it turned into white people who had black slaves. I'm pretty sure a lot of those slaves were abused in the same ways. They were definitely whipped. They were definitely worked to the bone. They were definitely worked till they fell down and died. It's all the same thing. Busy bee. Busy as a bee, creating so much honey, buzzing around at peace with life, no causes for any strife, building for you and your team, living life is a dream. Moving so quick, remember a break. So much seems to be at stake. You got this, it's in the bag. No more worrying, that's a drag. Networking seems to be something that really sets you free. So, once again, with getting yourself out there, and if you're so afraid to be vulnerable, you will never be able to connect to people in a way that will bring you in those opportunities and offers that you need to be able to succeed and grow in whatever it is that you are making in your life. Hiding yourself away is not the answer. Being afraid of all the eyes that are on you all the time, not the answer. I always feel like somebody's watching me. And so what if they are? Let them watch. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? My dad was always so paranoid about, oh, everybody's watching all your messages online and everything you post and everything like that. And you know what? If I had listened to my dad, I wouldn't be here doing this channel. My dad never would have made a channel like this. That's for damn sure, because he wouldn't have wanted anybody to know his private information that much. And here's the thing, I don't give a flying fuck. Everybody's like, oh, worry, 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 worry. No, I'm not going to worry. I'm sorry. If I worry, it's going to stop me. I don't have time to worry. Oh, the path you're walking could lead you to death. So could any path. Fuck, I could wake up tomorrow, walk out the front door and get hit by a bus. And regret that I never did a damn thing in my life because I was so fucking afraid. I spent too many years of my life being afraid, and I'm not going to be afraid anymore. And neither should you. Please take my lack of interest as a no. I have boundary issues and a hard time hurting others with rejection, as I know how that feels. Rejection is protection, but I still have a hard time seeing it that way from either side. Love is when both people feel it, and that's what we both really want. Find the strength to let me go, and find someone who gives you the time and the interest that you're looking for and deserve. Don't get stuck on someone who doesn't see you that way. It hurts, I should know. I wish I could be honest with you, but it hurts too much. I know that sounds selfish, but it is what it is. Maybe one day I will learn to speak my truth. And also, if you're less emotional when people speak their truth, they tend to feel more comfortable expressing their truth to you. Which is why, instead of this situation happening again recently, the opposite did. And it wasn't quite the same because, you know, it's not that they don't have feelings, it's that they have other things they need to be focused on and doing right now. But even being able to express that and be honest about it is something that is a massive step for this person because they have absolutely no boundaries. They have very, very bad boundary issues, and they tend to let everyone get away with everything. They're, fucking car for 3.5 months hasn't had a car because the mechanic, oh, it'll be ready next week. And I just realized that the entire 3.5 months this person has been telling them that it'll be ready next week. Are you fucking kidding me? I am so glad that I'm not doing that in my life anymore. But it's time to say something. It's time to express that, hey, you said it was going to be ready next week. This is your last chance. If it's not ready next week, I'm going to come down there. I'm going to get my fucking car. I'm not going to pay you a damn thing for what you've fucking done. And I'm going to tow it over to a different mechanic and I'm going to pay them to fix it. Yeah, I realize there's been all kinds of other mechanical issues coming up that you've had to deal with, but none of them have had to wait 3.5 fucking months. And I think it's about time mine becomes a fucking priority. And sometimes you have to say that. It's not mean. It's not being a fucking doormat to people. And people are opportunists. If you're allowing yourself to be a doormat, they're going to wipe their fucking shoes on you. That's just the way it is. You have dealt with many injustices, but fear not, you will be vindicated. Everything is coming out. Release the past and surrender to what is right now. Have faith in your God, angels, and ancestors. Our ancestors go all the way back to the original two ancestors, to the original two human beings that had sex and made babies and all the inbreeding that went into making all of us. Because it really does. It starts at the beginning in that way. All of the ancestors from then till now are behind you. All of their strength, all of their wisdom. Think about animals and how, okay, here's a good example. Snakes, especially, we're going to say rattlesnakes. Rattlesnakes used to hiss at you and start shaking their tail and warn you that, hey, you're in my fucking space and I don't like it and I will hurt you if you get any closer. They don't do that anymore. They run away and hide, and they're really quiet about it too, because they have learned that people are the top predator, and everywhere they go, people have been slaughtering them for the last 300 years. So now, you don't even know where they're at. And it's all caused by our own actions. But they learned. That was the point. They learned. And they didn't learn in this lifetime because you know what? They have very short lifespans. They learned from their ancestors. They learned from what was passed down. Just like we learn from what was passed down. Even if we never met our ancestors, it's ingrained. Evolution is something that happens regularly. Increases in consciousness. The way we interact with the world changes. Just like with animals. Humans are the biggest animal on this planet, but we're still animals. Which means we still have instincts. We still have intuition. We know things without even knowing why. When you put a baby in water, they'll actually start trying to swim. Just like when you start sticking a dog in water for the first time, they will start to swim. They will start to paddle their feet. Babies' heart rates will drop and they will breathe less, which is why I was able to survive as a baby when I was at the bottom of a pool. That is what happens with evolution. Others may have purposefully overburdened you. put their workload fully on you and refused to help you so that you would be distracted and wouldn't have time for your own goals. I have definitely been through that as well myself, and that's that boundary thing right there too. Who is to blame when you decided to take the entire workload onto your shoulders and not focus on what you needed to be focused on? Is it really them that is to blame, or is it yourself and your lack of boundaries? When you take your power back in that way, you refuse to be a victim anymore, and you tell people, look, I got my own shit to take care of. I'm sorry I can't do this for you, but you're going to have to take care of your own shit today. Everybody else has to, so fucking be responsible. And I'm going to be responsible for my shit right now. And like I said before, that is not mean. It's not mean to put your foot down and tell people exactly what they can do with their idea of what you should be doing with your time and your energy. Underneath it all, you're really lovely underneath it all. Believe that you are beautiful. There are many mistakes that you think that you have made, but know that it all happened for a reason and start to see yourself as the man or woman. All humans are imperfectly perfect, unconditional love for yourself and for others. And love, like we discussed earlier, is not possessing someone. Love is wanting someone to be happy, regardless of whether or not that means having you in their life or not having you in their life. Love is being accepting of people as they are and accepting of people without any changes made. Accepting of yourself right now in this moment as who you are. Yes, you can always do better. Yes, you can always learn more. Yes, you can always grow more. And the person who believes in that and does that is definitely worth loving right now in this moment. No matter what you think are your flaws that are so big that you should hate yourself for, there is no reason to be hating yourself. And once you stop hating yourself, you will stop hating others so much as well. Because we project that out onto the world, just like other people project their hurts and their pains and shit onto us. We project ours onto them. I need to believe in myself again. I need to trust in myself and my powers and skills. I need to express myself again, fearless of others' views or opinions. And if you are feeling like a situation is not good enough for you or is not something you want, or you're just not feeling the same way as somebody else involved in a situation, or you're feeling like you need to focus on yourself and what you got going on, then express yourself. Believe in that power of honesty and authenticity again. Believe in the skills that you have in communication to be able to effectively navigate the situation that you're in and to be able to express yourself in a way that is not going to tear yourself up or anyone else. And know that you can do this. There have been many people that I have had to tell, hey, I'm not really interested in you in the way that you're interested in me. I mean, I do enjoy our conversations, wouldn't mind having a friendship with you, things like that, but I am not looking for a relationship with you because you're just not the type of person that I want to be in a relationship with, and it has nothing to do with you, it has everything to do with me. I know what I'm looking for, and this is not what I'm looking for, and that's okay, because you're going to find what you're looking for too, and what you're looking for is somebody who wants you in the same way that you want them, and that's not me. All those beautiful things you're seeing in me, they're found in you too. Look at them, love them, and then find somebody that is wanting the same thing you're wanting, because it's not me. And it's okay to tell somebody that, even if they get hurt, even if they get sad, even if they are no longer your friend. Because there's a lot of them that won't be, because all they wanted from you was the relationship. And you know what's really funny about that? The most important part of any relationship is the friendship. And if they can't have a friendship with you because all they wanted from you was a relationship, then they weren't worth your time, energy, and effort anyway. Others never gave you the recognition or acceptance that you deserve. Look internally for that validation. It's the only one that can't be taken from you unless you let it be. If you can't acknowledge yourself, you will never see it from others either. I actually had a conversation with somebody about this over the last couple days too. Look at you and how fucking beautiful you are, how amazing you are, how wonderful you are. You are fucking phenomenal. But you don't see that. And if you don't see that, you will never feel it coming from anybody else. When you're going, oh yeah, they're showing that they care, like they really care. That's because you don't feel like anyone cares, because you aren't caring. But if you change that within yourself, then you'll start to see, notice, appreciate, and be grateful for all the care that really is coming your way, that you are blinded to when you're in that state of non-self-love. Rainy days. One thing after the next until it falls apart. Destruction is nature's art. Wishing for sunny skies, but all I see is the clouds' cries. Drowning in the pain all around, looking for solid ground. All alone, still no home. All my pain flows to this poem. Misery finds me here. There is nothing here to fear. Sunny days will come back to me. From this pain, I will be free. And this pain is all an internal experience. This pain is something that happens in every one of our lives. We all find ourselves in that misery, sadness, hurt at some point in time. And we always come back around to the other side of it. Sometimes it takes a little extra effort on our part. Sometimes it takes forcing yourself to get outside and do something. Sometimes it takes forcing yourself to get back into your exercise routine, forcing yourself to eat healthy. It takes a lot of willpower, discipline. It takes a lot sometimes to crawl out of that hole of hurt and pain. But you definitely have it within yourself to be able to do that. And no amount of covering it up with anything is ever going to help. But working on the root problems of it and the root causes of it is what's going to help. The Sun, the Ten of Cups, and the Two of Swords. I was just thinking about how I don't think there would be quite so many of you here to watch me regularly if it wasn't for the fact that my writing adds a lot to this. Seeing the truth regardless of what may be thrown in your path that is false or illusions. Being at peace with the decisions that you've made. Making decisions that bring you peace. Taking action on the things that bring you joy, optimism, hope, love, light, beauty. Really being honest with yourself and what makes you happy and choosing to take the actions to do that in your life is something that brings you to that happy, beautiful experience of love and light and joy that is shared, not just amongst yourself, but amongst everyone around you, because that is just as contagious as the lower negative vibrational energy. That beautiful, positive, joyful, uplifting energy is extremely contagious. And there's always going to be those that try to drag you back down into that darkness and that despair and that hurt and that pain. But do you have to let them? No. Hummingbird, which is pretty much the same thing as the Ten of Cups in a lot of ways, and the hawk, or at least parts of the meanings of the Ten of Cups. There's a lot of people who fight and argue, who are jealous or trying to get the best thing possible and fighting for themselves and do some stupid things during that. Hummingbirds represent a lot of positivity, joy, happiness, love, light, and spreading that beauty and that joy and that up positive vibration. But hummingbirds will beat the living shit out of each other over a mate or over a territory that they have decided is theirs. When they're bumping into each other and you're not really seeing much, that's what they're doing. They're beating the crap out of each other. And we still see them as something that's so happy and joyful and brings so much love and light. You can be seen that way even when you're fighting for yourself too and your own happiness. It's not selfish to do that. There's a difference between self-love and selfishness. There's a difference between tough love and hate. Tough love is something just as important as any other form of love. And you can do that without judgment and hate too. Remember to be looking at things from a higher perspective, and remember to be paying attention to the messages, signs, and synchronicities that are coming into you, because you are very connected to the spiritual realm. And ignoring that takes away that peace. But acknowledging that brings peace and brings happiness and joy into your life. So allow the happiness and joy to come into your life. I'm going to go ahead and read one more message, and then we're going to close it out. And once again, between messages, if anybody wants to be able to donate to the channel, you can find my Cash App, PayPal, and Amazon wish list all in the description box below. And I truly appreciate each and every one of you who does that, or likes, shares, comments, subscribes, anything like that on this channel or my other channel. It all really helps me out so much. Thank you guys so much for that. And I really appreciate it. So let's see what this closeout message is going to be about. Time to care for you as only you can. You put so much effort into caring for others. Why wouldn't you do the same for yourself? Maybe because you feel like it's selfish. It's time for self-love and appreciation. You're not vain for thinking you're amazing. You're a better person for thinking that. The people who don't think they're amazing are the ones that are cocky and vain and constantly feeling like they need to one-up everybody and running around peacocking everywhere. That's different. When you take the time to appreciate and love yourself and truly see yourself as the beauty that you are, then you're not spreading that same type of energy. You're spreading a completely different energy. It's not a cockiness. Some people will claim it's that. It's not pride. It's not ego. Some people will claim it's that, because it does look somewhat similar to that fake confidence, cocky ego bullshit. But that's why it's so important that you take that time for that self-love, so that you don't believe those people when they're telling you that. Most of those people are martyrs. Unhappy waters. Be happy, my love, wherever you go. A new man will come, I know. You're my friend first and foremost. I offer you a toast. True happiness I hope you find. Please don't punish yourself in your mind. If you choose to leave me, I hope that it's to be happy. But if you choose to stay, I'm hoping it's for the same. So please forgive me when I feel you're worth more. Jealousy is not at my core. My heart feels your pain and sees your eyes full of rain. Stop selling yourself for your needs. Have some faith and see where it leads. Know everything will be okay if you try it another way. Take my own advice, I know. I had to reap and to sow. Sometimes you don't see what's inside unless you take that ride. And once again, going back to telling people when you're feeling like this isn't the situation for you. That's why it's so important that friendship is at the core of the situation. Because then you have no problem being honest or comfortable with each other. You have no problem wishing for that person's happiness and success, even if it's not with you or including you. And vice versa.